Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Dave Yosta. I'm the president of the Managed Service Provider Association of America. We are going to be joined by two of our MSPs from ManagePoint, and I'm going to bring them on the stage in 1 second here. Let's bring them on. We have David. David, how are you? Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for inviting us to this.
No problem. I'm excited to actually speak with you. So you are the president of ManagePoint, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And let's bring on Joe. And Joe, welcome.
Hi, Dave. Thanks very much for having us here today. I really appreciate it.
No problem. And you're the account executive, right? And we're going to go into all the details.
Dave's right-hand man for all that's worth. Do a great job. We have some fun.
Well, let's jump into this. I'm so excited to actually speak to you and hear a bit about the company. David, let's start with you here for a second. So tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us a bit about the company.
Sure. Company. We'll start with there. ManagePoint. We're located in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Been in business for almost 23 years. I started the company by myself. I'm a tech by trade, turned business owner, and so I've been growing the business ever since. As far as myself, husband of one wife, but 4 kids from 25 down to 11, and just loving life and really love doing what we do. It's been a passion of mine for a long time.
So you said you love doing what you do. So you own the company. Company's been around for a bit of time. You're a managed service provider. Tell us a bit about the company itself and what you guys specialize in.
Absolutely. So just a really fast history. I started this business out of a passion for owning my own business. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, different industry, HVAC industry, but I wanted to have my own business. I recognized that the small mid-sized business or industry or businesses, I should say, were being underserved in the communities that I was living in as I was kind of moving around in Wisconsin, so started off really as a break fix shop where we just did break fix of IT systems and whatnot, but morphed into managed services, and we specialize in infrastructure support. We're really good at the fundamental foundational things of an organization. Everything from end user support, dealing with their issues, questions, and all that, all the way up to the high end networks and server systems, whether it be on premise or in the cloud.
So, and maybe Joe, you can expand on this a little bit. But you said you focus on like the infrastructure. Joe, can you, because you're the account executive, can you expand on what that means a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So the companies that we really specialize in, and getting down to it, 5 to 100 knowledge base users really is kind of our sweet spot. But
Okay.
Reaching out to and making contact with in the small medium sized business, a lot of times if people haven't engaged with a managed service provider yet, there's sometimes the president's managing those things, but sometimes it's the office assistant who's trying to manage all their 365 licenses. So we're trying to really get in touch with and work with those people, the people that are currently managing their IT, and start alleviating some of that stress by finding out where they're at, what they're doing, and help them kind of move things forward so they can be more productive on a daily basis.
You said a keyword there, and I'm going to take advantage of asking this based on that. You said where they're at, David. So where they're at, are you guys international, local? Where do you operate?
So our headquarters is out of Wauwatosa, but we actually have clients all over the country, and including we support a couple facilities of a client in Mexico. So location really, this day and age with technology, location for us doesn't matter. We can support a client anywhere. And we have strategies and ways, because some people always have concerns about that, but it's not an issue for us, just based on the technology. So yeah, anywhere within the continental U.S. Actually, I'll take Hawaii and maybe Alaska too, but anywhere in the U.S. and if you have facilities offshore, near shore, we can support those as well. It's not an issue.
And one of the questions I love asking MSPs, because it's always great to hear about, some of the opinions that come out, but technology is huge. There are systems and servers and software and you name it. They're all over the place, right? ManagePoint, what is something that you guys like to specialize in?
Joe, do you want to take this?
Yeah. So
Okay.
you already kind of touched on we try to meet our customers where they're at. Of course, we specialize in Microsoft and 365, firewalls and security, but making sure that a company has proper backups. A lot of times people think they have those backups covered, but they don't have them on site and off site. They don't have them immutable. So specializing in that kind of security and making sure that we've got a client set up to be resilient, because that's the biggest piece for them. If something were to happen, making sure that they come back up, make sure their operations are up and running and quickly. For some clients, that means within 5 minutes. For some clients, that means within the day. And we kind of build our systems and meet them where they're at, to make sure that they're set up to be as resilient as possible and as secure as possible.
Awesome. Thanks for that. All right, so let's move on. So we got where you guys are, we got the services that you guys do, we've got the background of the company. Next question I'm going to ask. Some people may find it weird, but I always like to ask this question: is there are thousands of MSPs across the United States, and Joe, I think you might have touched on this a little bit, but what makes you guys so different from all the others?
Yeah, thanks for that one. No, I appreciate that. So while we do have a lot of clients that are single site, a lot of clients throughout Wisconsin and into Georgia and different places that are single site, one of the places that we really differentiate ourselves is being able to properly support and structure and build those networks that are for multiple sites. For those companies that are expanding rapidly and they're adding locations, they're adding warehouses. So making sure that someone can do that. I see a lot of MSPs in the space struggle once it becomes multiple locations, or like locations here in Georgia and here in California. And I think that's one of the great places we distinguish ourselves. But to add to that just a little bit, it's the commit situations. So a lot of companies already have an IT manager that's been trying to do it, and he's over his head. He's trying to figure out how to add that next location, but bringing in an MSP is threatening to him. And I think we do an amazing job at working with current IT managers and helping bolster them, make them look good, give them the wins, and help them build out something that they couldn't do by themselves. So those commit situations are key to our success. We have a couple of really great wins with some of our current clients in that area.
You kind of stole the thunder a little bit, because the next question I wanted to ask kind of relates to what you just said. And I was going to put this on David's shoulders here, but let me ask it anyway. So David, you're obviously the owner. You deal with a lot of clients. You go through a lot of the negotiation process with these clients. One thing in your tenure that you've been in the company and running the company is, what is the one thing that clients come to you and ask most of the time? And what is your opinion and perspective on that?
Well, right now the big topic is cybersecurity, and a lot of our clients come to us and they're like, a lot of those discussions start with, "Hey, I need cyber liability insurance for the business, and I got this 20-page app." And so we sit down with them and we walk through that, and it's a great opportunity for us to actually talk to them about about what does the threat landscape look like, and what does that mean for their business, and how do we approach that? How do we phase in technology? And kind of going back and touching on the meeting clients where they're at. Not everybody has the same budget. Not everybody has the funds to do the things, or they may not even have the architecture, I guess we'll say, the proper systems in place to make that happen. So meeting them where they're at, some people are just like, "Hey, I just need to get patch management covered, and I need to have something better than antivirus." So we sit down with them and we have, we talk about our plans and the things that we see that would be the best fit for them, and we just walk through that. But the big thing our clients really like about how we engage them is just, we take the time to sit down with them and listen to what their issues are, what's unique about them, and then we tailor and we build around their unique need. We don't like this cookie cutter. I mean, yes, every business has certain needs that are pretty universal, but when you start getting into the systems that they run, like software and the integrations they may want to have with other software platforms, those are the types of things that you can't cookie cutter some of that. So those are the conversations we have, very common. And and then what does it look like? What does it look like, 6 quarters down the road? We work with them on laying that out and planning that stuff out, so they have a really good understanding of their budget. They have a good understanding of what they're going to need down the road. So it's not these big surprises. So though, just that one-on-one conversation,
Yeah.
that's really important to us, and our clients really like that. So that we're always having that engagement, conversations, and building that relationship.
What I hear you saying, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but what I hear you saying is you like to simplify. You want to work with a client and take their entire request, if you want to call it that, maybe whatever problem's having, and simplify it so it's easy to digest, easy to actually execute, and to support them. Is that more or less along the lines?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I mean, some things that people, or I should say, we've run into where other MSPs overlook is like just simple things like maintaining warranties on your equipment.
Yeah.
That's part of our natural process of when we engage customers, is that we have a full asset inventory, and we actually proactively, ahead of before warranties expire, we're going to the client and saying, hey, this is what's coming up, something we need to budget for next quarter. And they like that they don't have to think about it. It makes it easy and simple for them, and that's our job. I mean, our job is to make sure their infrastructure is supportable and take care of all these details. So on our side, maybe not so simple, but on their side, absolutely, it's all about them. It's not about us. Our thing is we want to serve our clients and make it easy for them. So that's what's important to us.
And I think that kind of summarizes the whole concept of a managed service provider, right? You are managing and servicing that contract.
Absolutely.
One question I wanted to ask is, you touched on a very important piece about warranties, and I agree with you. A lot of the time, MSPs, even clients themselves, neglect the warranties for whatever reason, and there's the reasons go on forever and ever, right? Um, Joe, coming back to you, can you walk us very, very briefly, and we're approaching our time limit here, but just very briefly, like, what does that look like? Do you actually reach out to these clients and say, XYZ system is up for a warranty replacement? What does that look like?
A lot of times, especially once I've had a chance to develop and build that relationship with the client, what that normally looks like is during a QBR. During our QBRs, we say, all right, here's our critical network infrastructure that's going to have their warranties renewed. So this is the cost, this is the date, and here's the 50 laptops that are coming up that are hitting their 3-year. And we got to make the decision whether we're going to renew those warranties or we're going to replace equipment, and make the decisions based on that. So a lot of those conversations really happens during the QBR. And then when I send them the quote for the warranty renewal, it's not hitting someone as a surprise. Why is Joe sending me? The Cisco SmartNet has to get renewed on 10 switches. It's going to cost me $15,000. Oh my, I sure wish he'd have told me about that sooner. So we've kind of already preemptively talked about it, set it up in budget, and made sure that they're aware. So there's not a
Yeah.
whole lot of back. They're not getting upset with us. It's not creating any strife or any issues, and we're able to kind of
Makes
just
a lot
keep
of
rolling.
sense, right?
Yeah, and it works well.
Exactly. All right, great, thanks. We're about up on our time, but before we do close here, David, Joe, I wanted to give you one last opportunity to have any closing comments to whoever may be listening now or in the future. Let's start with you, David. Actually, no, let's reverse that a little bit. David, you started first. Joe, let's go to you. Any closing comments for the audience?
Yeah, David, I'll let you close it out strong, but I'll hit my soapbox that I always hit. Backups are possibly more important than anything else going in your business. If you've spent 20 years of your life to build this 10-man organization that you have, but you don't have adequate backups and they're susceptible. That is the most important thing, to make sure that those are set up, those are managed, those are tested, so that if something were to happen, God forbid, we're able to bring you back up and you have zero risk of your entire organization being gone forever. That is the soapbox that I will stand on for the rest of the time that I work in this industry.
You know, I could see the passion in your eyes, and I so want to ask you what happened. It was like clear.
I got stories, man. I got stories. We'll talk more next time.
All right, deal. No problem. David, let's move over to you. Any closing comments from your side?
Yeah, I have two things. Number one, kind of riding on what Joe said. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we're talking. In today's world of cyber threats and whatnot, and it doesn't matter how big or small you are as an organization. You're a target. If you have a checking account, if you have money in your business, you're a target. So security is like on the forefront of everything right now, and that is something that always has to be front of mind, and you have to be thinking about it. And what are you doing to make sure your environment and your systems and your people are secure? So I'll just leave it with that, because that to me is just like the biggest thing that we just see now, is just how many organizations are struggling on that security front. And that's where we come in and just come alongside them, guide them through that process. Sometimes it's kind of a joke, but sometimes it's like, there's also like IT counseling services of dealing with people, the struggles they're going through. So, but we love what we do. We're passionate about it. We just really enjoy serving our clients. And if anybody gets an opportunity to work with us and we get to work with them, you'll see that in how our technical team interfaces with the clients.
Absolutely.
There was a comment that actually came up. I'm going to put it on screen. John Knoop, he obviously enjoyed it as well. So he enjoyed your perspective.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
I'm sure you guys can connect with him. But folks, if you guys want to connect with the ManagePoint team, David Steger or John, I'm not going to pronounce the last name because I'll probably get it wrong, but that's okay. Just connect with them. Website is down below. Have a look at them. Go visit the website. See if it's something that worked for you. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I'm sure, David, if someone wants to connect with you and ask a couple of questions, I'm sure you're open to that, right?
Absolutely. You can reach out to me. You can find me on LinkedIn pretty easily, as well as Joe. Yeah. You can find him on LinkedIn, but go to our website too. We got plenty of forms up there that you can reach out to us, and I'd love to just have a conversation. We're here for you guys. So we're here to serve.
Awesome. Well, gents, thanks so much. This has been awesome. I really appreciate the insight, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you for the time, Dave.
Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Thanks.
Take care, sir.